Hey everyone, I'm going to try to not make this, well, it's going to be depressing. I'm going to try not to cry. It's probably not going to happen. Don't mind the scenery. I am in my hoarder storage room that I'm going to organize after this because I need to keep my mind busy instead of just sitting in my chair being sad. And if you have seen or follow me on Instagram or even on here on my community tab or Facebook, you guys will see, well, you already know that Rudy, our almost 9-year-old boxer-lab-rottweiler mix, has passed away as yesterday on my birthday. Yes, happened really fast and unexpected because everything was great last weekend and it was fun. And Tuesday came, he woke up, we all woke up, he ate breakfast like normal kind of, and then after Zach, like, he was just acting really weird. He was walking weird. He like, his back was like hunched all the way like this. And so I was like, okay, maybe his back hurts. And he started walking weird. And he, always when I cook breakfast, he's just right there. This is the first morning without him. Sorry, guys. But he's always just kind of like right there. And he wasn't right there when I was cooking breakfast that day. And he was laying in a corner. He didn't want any scraps. He's always like sitting by the kids when they eat and wanting scraps. And he just didn't care about it. He was just limping real bad, and he went to the bathroom like a lot. So I was like, okay, something's gotta be wrong. And so I called the vet. Zach takes him that day. They do blood work, and then they're like, well, let's do an x-ray. Maybe he ate something bad or something's in there, like, we don't know. And so when they go to lift him up, he was like really tender and it hurt him, and he just didn't like that. And so they're like, well, you know, let's see if it's something on him. And so they start shaving, and there's like a lot of blood and pus and dry skin, kind of, not dry skin, I don't even know, like scat, I don't know how to explain it. The week before that, Zach gave him a bath. And so from then until this happened, this is something happened. And so they come in and they ask, like, you know, ask some questions, and Zach's like, no, I gave him a bath the week before. He hasn't been on a walk anywhere. He hasn't done anything. He's just been playing outside in our backyard with the kids and all this and that. And they're like, okay, well, we're still running the labs. We don't need to do an x-ray. We think this might be either skin infection or an autoimmune disease. So they said that they couldn't like 100% confirm it was autoimmune, but they said it was an autoimmune disease, but they couldn't say like which type. There's like different types and whatnot, but like they couldn't 100% say like this is what this is, and they couldn't rule out cancer. Like they said, you know, as of the blood work, it's not cancer, but we can't rule it out. And they couldn't 100% say, you know, it's not cancer, but the blood work says right now it's not, but he could have cancer and all this crazy stuff. And they said that this autoimmune disease, this infection, flared up because of a bug or a spider bite, most commonly spider bites, but they've never seen it this bad on like a chest before. It's usually like on a leg or something. So they gave us some medication. They told him to wear a t-shirt because he was actively bleeding, and I'll show a photo because all this was underneath his thick fur, and so we didn't see it. We had no idea. He wasn't scratching at it or anything, and so we didn't know that that was what was underneath. Wednesday, Thursday go by, and he was fine. He was not fine, but he was like, you know, he was by me when I was cooking. He was, you know, into scraps. He was into hanging out with us. You know, he wasn't running around chasing, like every time we would let him outside, they'd just run and take off and go after squirrels or go play, and he just wasn't doing that. Friday comes, and he was exactly how he was Tuesday. He was miserable, and then we noticed it was spreading because like the fur kind of does this, I don't know, like a hard type, it's hard to explain. And then his ear So we went to bed Thursday night, and Friday morning we woke up. His ear was raw blood, like it looked like flesh, like it was bloody. It was dripping, and you know, we tried to dab it, clear that up, and we could see that it was like spreading on his head, and then on his it was all on his right side. Yeah, it was on his right side, and it was spreading on his neck and head, and it was on his back leg. And so I was freaking out, and because he had a checkup appointment this coming Tuesday, so I called the, like, you know, a whole week later to see how his progress was, and he was still taking his meds. But I called the vet, and they wanted to bring him in ASAP. So I go with the kids, and I meet my mother-in-law there so she can help with the kids while I was supposed to just drop Rudy off, but it was serious enough that they wanted to talk to me and see Rudy, and they saw that it was spreading and it was getting bad, and they're like, you know, we can't 100% confirm that this is autoimmune because we need to do a biopsy and something else they said. I can't remember, but they wanted to do a biopsy, and so they would have to, you know, put him under, do a surgery, and we got an estimate for that and stuff. And then I started talking more to them, and they're like, well, we need to figure out what kind of autoimmune disease it is, if it is an autoimmune disease 100%, because we believe that's what it is. We think he also has a bacterial infection now, and then we also think, you know, we don't know if this is a skin disease or if this is a symptom of skin cancer, because this can happen with that. And he was in so much pain, you guys. Like, he was just limping around. He was miserable. He was just, I mean, like, it was so bad on his stomach. I just felt so terrible for him. And so, you know, I was talking to Zach and on the phone in there, and then I was asking more questions, and I said, you know, when we find out, like, if it's the autoimmune disease route, like, what is the, like, is he going to be able to, like, you know, live a dog life? Like, is he gonna be able to run around or go for walks, or is he just gonna be laying there in pain, always bleeding? And they said that, like, this on his belly and everything was gonna take months to heal, like probably a good 3 to 6 months to heal up. And, you know, he's gonna be on medication the rest of his life just to get through the pain, to get this healed up. And he would have to be switching medications all the time, and it could be anywhere up to $200 to $300 at least a month just to do the medications. And he'd have to switch all the time because his body would get immune to it and then keep going. That's if it was an autoimmune disease, okay? And then if it was the skin disease, they didn't really say that option. But you know, they said they don't really know, because, I mean, they couldn't tell me at the time. And I was, you know, Zach and I were stuck with this decision of, do we want to put him through this surgery, through this pain, and, you know, then not be able to do anything afterwards, and him just be in pain the rest of his life. I mean, he's 9 years old this month. He's lived a great life. He's been a relatively healthy dog, and we had him since he was a puppy. We saved him. I like to say we saved him for where we got him. And it was just so hard. It's like the hardest decision, because, you know, you have another dog you have to care for, and then you have 4 kids to take care of, and it's just, you don't want him to be miserable and be in pain and just lay around and not enjoy his life, because that's not what he likes. He likes going for walks with us. He likes playing with the kids and us. He likes chasing squirrels and playing fetch and cuddling, and he couldn't even do that because he was in so much pain. Like, his stomach was just so bad. And, you know, the vet was talking, and I was like this, asking questions, and I was like, I really just don't want him to be in pain. And I don't want my kids to see him like that. And, you know, Zach and I put a lot of love and thought into this. It was the hardest decision and the hardest thing we've had to do, and it was just it was just really hard to make that decision and to do that. And so, you know, he was in so much pain. They gave us some medicine, and you know, we did it for the next day because I was like, you know, we want to have another night with him and do everything, because with the eclipse that weekend, everything's gonna be closed, and I didn't want him to be laying and just in pain. He was in so much pain and he couldn't do anything, and he just laid there and just, you know, you just know your dog. Like when you're with them every single day all the time for 9 years, you know them. And so, you know, the next morning Zach was up at 4 a.m. with him, because the appointment was at 9:50 something, and then I was up at 5, and we were just enjoying the time with him. And it was really hard on the kids. I'm not gonna go into detail, but with Savannah, she's struggling, which, I mean, I get it. She's 6, and I lost a dog when I was 8. So I know I had just turned 9, so I understand it's hard. And you know, when you get dogs, you don't think about in the moment, in the future. Like, you know, like I was 20 when we got Rudy. We already had Junior. I got when I was 19. You know, we weren't thinking about, we were thinking, oh, we get to have kids, and the kids are gonna know these dogs too, but you don't think about like when it's time, and the kids, how it's gonna affect them and us. And I've been through this, like, you know, the process going and saying goodbye twice before. Zach's never been, and it was hard. But I think Rudy just knew, because that morning he actually played fetch before we left, which was really cool, because he hadn't done that, and he didn't even want to do that. And you know, the thought, he wouldn't even like shake for treats and stuff before this, guys. Like, he loves treats, and he did that for us. Like, he shook and did all that, and so yeah, it was really hard, but we did it for him, so he's not in pain anymore. It was so hard seeing him like that. Yeah, so we gotta wait 4 weeks for him to come back to us. I bought a special thing for him, and it has like storage for like his collar, and like we get his paw print, and we get some fur, and then you can put a picture on there, and so that'll come. And yeah, okay. Sorry, try not to be too depressing, but it's sad. And Junior's really sad, our other dog, because, you know, he's been with Rudy for 9 years, so he's been kind of depressed, and yeah, it's just hard. We're a dog lover family, but I just wanted to come on camera and make this its own thing. I didn't want to put this in something else, and I really didn't want to, you know, re-upset my kids. I mean, we've already, you know, gone back and forth a couple times crying, and I just feel really numb and sad. And the house just feels empty without him here. I mean, I have my kids. I have Junior, Zach. I said Zach last, but, you know, Zach and I, we've been a real support system for each other. So I have Zach, my kids, Junior, but it just, like, there's just a hole. Yeah, but that's happy birthday to me. It's a rough one. Definitely a rough one. Not something Your life can just change so fast in an instant. So cherish every moment you have with your kids, with your fur babies, your family, your husband, your wife, your loved ones, because you just never know. That's what I've learned in the last 365 days, not just 2024, just the last year, with so much going on in our lives, with family, losing my grandpa, what was going on with my stepdad, Rudy. Like, you just never know. So tell the people in your life you love them. And yeah, real depressing. But thanks for all the support and the love on Instagram, YouTube, comments, you guys messaging me. I really appreciate it. If I don't get back to your comments and stuff, it's just going through it. Yeah. I will see you guys in the next one.